This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Little bit of a heads up before we get going, there might be a tiny element of rantiness about today's video. As will become apparent. I tend not to get too bothered or frankly bothered at all about comments left under my videos. You know, it's all engagement, it's all clicks, and if you are in the YouTube business, then clicks equal you know, a bigger paycheck at the end of the month. So it's all good. You want to call me an idiot? Well, you know, plenty of people have. You know, you want to point out the fact that I've got too many chins and not enough hair. Well, knock yourself out. What does tend to get on my thrupney's a little bit, though, is when there's a particular type of comment which is factually incorrect. And, well, I tell you what. Here's the latest iteration of the kind of comment I'm talking about. It comes from a chap called Adrian Pollard, 2763. The floor is yours, Adrian. Take it away.
Sorry, John, but I see no sense at all in reviewing any guitar being played through a modelling processor. They will all sound the same. You could get the same sound from an £80 Encore using that processor.
Yes, the BluGuitar Amp1. I've noticed that there are comments which happen on a regular enough basis that it is something of a trend, that people refer to it as, you know, a modelling processor, a simulation, some kind of simulacrum of a real amp, but not a real amp in any real sense. I did a video, ages ago, where I was comparing software amp simulations to a real amp, and the real amp in question is the BluGuitar Amp1 Mercury Edition. And, you know, same sort of comment underneath that, and a few since then, you know, and they always seem to start with, "I'm sorry, John, but..." You know, it's like you're being addressed by some tweed-skirted schoolmistress with a hair in a bun, hands on hips, peering at you over the top of half-moon spectacles. "I'm sorry, John, but..." You know, so what I decided to do was what anyone can do if they have the time and the will to do it, which is to put in the Herculean effort of launching a browser window and typing a question into Google. This is what resulted.
Does the BluGuitar Amp1 use modelling?
When you type that question into Google, this is the answer you get.
The BluGuitar Amp1, particularly the Iridium and Mercury editions, does not rely on amp modelling, but instead uses a unique approach combining solid-state analog circuitry with a miniature nanotube valve and a Class D output stage, designed to emulate the interaction of a transformer-coupled valve output stage with the speaker.
So there you have it. It's a digital modelling processor in every regard, except that it doesn't use modelling, and it's analog, not digital, and there's a valve involved. The BluGuitar Amp1 pushes out 100 watts of power into whatever your speaker of choice may happen to be, and it also has a recording output which uses an impulse response, and that output goes into my interface, which is over there, you can't see it, and then it gets recorded into Reaper. When I'm recording it, I usually employ a little bit of compression in exactly the same way as every guitar tone that you've heard on every one of your favourite recordings was recorded. When you mic up a guitar amp in a studio, it'll go into the desk and there will be compression involved at some stage in the signal chain, and from there it gets a little bit of room reverb and a little bit of delay added. Again, what's unusual about that? You know, it's not a simulation. It's not modelling. It's not some algorithm software driven simulacrum, as I said earlier, of a real guitar amp. It is a real guitar amp. And as for the notion that, well, everything's going to sound the same through it, well, I can attest to the fact that that's not true. I hear a massive difference between the guitars that I play through it. My PRS sounds different to my Les Paul. My Squire Strat on the back wall there sounds different to the vintage V6 Strat copy that I've got. They all sound like their own thing, and it's not just some. The guitar isn't simply some. Signal generating device which triggers a sound that is created by some AI algorithm software stuff. It's a real amp. Have I made that point? And to prove that, we're going to hear a piece of music now where I'm playing a bunch of different guitars through it, same settings, and you'll hear, hopefully, the difference between all of these different guitars in this piece of music. I mean, yes, you could say that the differences are subtle, but they are there. If you know what you're listening for. I mean, I've got a mate who's massively into his cars, and he can hear and identify the difference between this engine and that engine, a Porsche 6-cylinder engine versus a V8 and, all that sort of stuff. Because that is, that's what his ear is attuned to, whereas, frankly, I'd struggle to be able to tell the difference between a 2-stroke moped and a tractor. But, the idea that this box of tricks here is just some simulation that essentially generates its own sound that is triggered by whatever guitar is plugged into it, and therefore all guitars will sound the same through it. I think, well, hopefully I've busted that myth. And by the way, there's a full tab for that that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it, and the jam track to play along with yourself. That's all up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, $3 or £3 a month-ish gets you access to all of these additional tabs and jam tracks and goodies and stuff that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. No need to tell you what I was playing through there on that demo, but I will anyway. A BluGuitar Amp1 Mercury Edition, of course. Crunchy power chord stuff was the vintage channel. The clean lead parts were the clean channel. The sort of cleaner strummy parts, that was the vintage channel again, but with the guitar's volume backed off, and the shouty high gain parts were the classic channel with a foot switchable boost. I used the bridge pickup for all of the overdriven tones on all three guitars. I used the middle kind of both pickup settings for the strummy chords, and I used the neck pickup on each of the three guitars for the clean lead parts, and then once again the bridge pickup for the high again solo-y bits. And you know, well, I just think the differences were, you know, apparent in that demo there. I was going to do some clips where we heard that the individual guitar tones isolated, but this video is probably getting a bit long enough already, so I just didn't see the need to put those in. And hopefully I've now settled this this whole thing about what the BluGuitar Amp1 actually is. It's an amp. There. And that is the video for today, folks. Hope you've found this useful, informative, entertaining and enjoyable. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget, of course, the live stream every Friday at 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and just have a chat, basically. Beer and chat on a Friday, that's all it is, but it's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.